Welcome to Trustnodes News. Today's latest follows.
News of news for bears and bulls. Ripple Labs apparently sold another $170 million worth of XRP, but what little XRP data is provided shows circulating supply increased by about 1 billion XRP in the last quarter. That suggests they sold circa $300 million worth, but Ripple Labs claims it's $170 million. Big numbers regardless. There's a lot that can be done with so much money. What they are doing, however, besides marketing, is not clear. This is news of news where we clear the desk for today, and there's quite a few to go through. Lil Pump apparently has begun accepting Bitcoin through the Lightning Network, Lane. Whether the rapper will keep them or fiat it, is unclear, but testing Lane by buying some cool tea on his official merchandise store might be one way of seeing why Lane has a long way to go. We don't undertake any verification in this section, by the way. It's the clearing desk. Pump's site doesn't show the Bitcoin logo, but some Lane merchant's tracking site claims he accepts it. A South Korean social media veteran bets on blockchain, which he thinks can facilitate better social networking, making Kwajinwang the latest sign of a growing cultural adoption of cryptos and blockchain tech, especially in South Korea. Their biggest company, Samsung, has been on a spree of blockchain news lately. They've invested €2.6 million in Ledger, the hardware wallet that appears to almost have no competition in the fairly lucrative space of securing your crypto cold wallet. Eric Larchevêque, Ledger's founder, had a pretty interesting statement to make on Twitter. He said, "We will still need hardware wallets, but to support a crypto revolution based on personal sovereignty accessible to all, the smartphone will indeed play a central role." As you remember, Samsung recently launched a phone that sort of has a crypto hardware wallet in it, meaning this is probably a strategic investment. Samsung is apparently also thinking of launching a private blockchain that just forks Ethereum. Or they might use the public blockchain. They're planning a token anyway, or maybe not. We'll find out. Nike, the maker of some of the best running trainers, sneakers, is apparently flirting with launching a token too. In the corporate world, you first file trademarks to secure your monopoly and power by the force of law. In this case it is for CryptoKicks. The trademark application describes a digital currency that would be used by members of an online community. It also describes an electronic marketplace for footwear and clothing and a members-only website with features such as message boards. For Nike there could be a lot more interesting use cases, especially around authenticity. Instead of putting some stamp as they currently do, which is hard to tell from real or fake, they could give the trainer a private key that once scanned shows whether it is of Nike or not. Interesting, however, that Nike is making an entrance. Blockchain and sport, the opportunities may well be endless. Barclay has published a long list of the many things they are doing with blockchain. The young are indeed learning. Finally, a mid-cap exchange, Gate.io, has raised $64 million for their own exchange token. They claim $2.984 billion worth of orders were placed. Can you believe it? The public is hungry for easy investment into startups and semi-established businesses. Meritocracy and all that, wits and smarts. It's the aristocrats, however, that make the laws, and they would rather we have no role in the engine of value production. So pretty boy Uniswap goes off to take money from VCs and thus willingly makes itself answerable to a rich clique that has been sucking up value since at least the 70s. That's because to open the guilds will take much wit, but as Nakamoto said, we can have a space for freedom for at least some time. May such some time be a golden millennium along. Copyrights Trustnodes.com. Blockchain chicken doubles sales. China's massive retailer with $67 billion in yearly revenue, JD.com, says chicken sales have doubled since they've put them on the blockchain. JD fits each chicken with a specially designed pedometer, with the aim of having each bird take 1 million steps during the rearing process, they say, adding, "The company uses blockchain technology for maximum quality assurance and full traceability." Since early 2018, JD customers have been able to review details about the rearing process for every chicken they buy. A scan of the QR code on the poultry's packaging allows buyers to view detailed information on sourcing, feeding intervals and more. The chickens are delivered via JD's self-operated logistics network, which covers 99% of China's population and offers same and next-day delivery to most customers. JD provides interest-free loans to households and farmers in poor regions like Wuyi County, which JD has helped remove from China's national poverty list. Individuals then use these loans to buy chickens while ensuring they roam around because apparently walking about tightens the chicken's muscles and makes the meat tastier. Once the chicken is good for market, they sell them to JD and usually make some money. The program has helped nearly 500 families in the area earn thousands of RMB per year, JD says. They're now expanding this program called Running Chickens to flying pigeons and swimming ducks. The project showcases how e-commerce can benefit society as a whole by alleviating poverty while bringing high-quality, safer, and better-tasting produce to consumers, says Xiaowan Lu, project's lead at JD. In a video, JD says they're using blockchain technology to trace all sorts of products, like lettuce. Blockchain technology is now used on most of the products that you can find in the supermarket, including fresh products, providing transparency on the quality and the source of the food, they say. Just what blockchain they're using is not clear, but at least in China the technology is now apparently going mainstream. Copyrights Trustnodes.com. Binance Dex says it might seize your crypto. Binance has launched a new exchange which they claim is decentralized, but its terms and conditions reveal it might actually be fairly centralized. We had a quick test run first of all and the process is quite smooth. You don't need any username, email address, ID verification, or anything. You instead receive a file that presumably holds your private key and you get a seed phrase to save in addition to creating a password. That's that. You're done. You log in now by either uploading the private key or entering the seed phase with the password and you get a screen similar to the one in the featured image with just one trading pair for now, and be in the latest ICO from Binance. There's no depositing or withdrawing on the exchange. Instead, the signing up process is basically creating an address on the new Binance chain. The exchange just connects to this address in the browser itself. How it does so isn't very clear, but blockchain.info likewise provides a browser wallet for Bitcoin. Changpeng Zhao, Binance's founder, used to work at blockchain, so this wallet creation could technically be trustless to a large extent. The problem is the Binance chain itself upon which the DEX runs, where accounts are kept and so on, in addition to how the Binance DEX site interfaces with this chain. We'll quote the terms and conditions of Binance DEX at some length. If Binance determines that you have engaged in any prohibited use via the site, Binance may address such prohibited use through an appropriate sanction, in its sole and absolute discretion. Such sanction may include proposal to Binance chain governance, validators and community, for confiscation of any digital tokens obtained in any prohibited use, and terminating your access to any services through the site. In addition, Binance makes no representation or warranty as to what actions Binance chain governance, validators and community may take, at its sole and absolute discretion, including to seize and hand over your property to law enforcement or other authorities where circumstances warrant. Binance insists on a comprehensive and thorough user due diligence process and implementation and ongoing analysis and reporting. This includes monitoring of and for suspicious transactions and mandatory reporting to international regulators. Binance needs to keep certain information and documentation on file pursuant to applicable law and its contractual relationships, and Binance hereby expressly reserves the right to keep such information and documentation. This will apply even when you terminate your relationship with Binance or abandon your wallet and related applications. Binance and Binance Chain Community reserves the right to refuse service of the site, or to bar transactions from or terminate any relationship with, any user for any reason, or for no reason, at any time. Without limiting the generality of the foregoing, this includes, but is not limited to anyone that fails to meet any user due diligence standards, requests, or requirements of Binance and Binance Chain Community. At all times, you may be subject to enhanced user due diligence procedures in your use of the site and any service. So there are two aspects to it. First, this suggests the DEX site is centralized so they can lock out access. Rather than this being an interface to a smart contract, it looks like it is more of a Binance chain node sort of thing that interfaces with the blockchain. A single node can of course do whatever it wants. It can deny you access to information, it can lie to you, it can ban you and so on. Where there are thousands of nodes to which you connect through a full node, then a single node can still ban you if it wishes, in which case you connect to others, but it can't lie because proof of work. Here BNB runs on Tendermint BFT consensus where the initial validators are selected from trusted members of the Binance community, and will eventually expand to more members as the Binance blockchain and ecosystem matures. The rest connect through an SPV wallet which doesn't do any verification, doesn't have all the code rules and so on. In addition, one can't just be a validator or just run a full node on BNB. Plus, as for now it is probably just Binance validating the chain. This is sort of a centralized database. So the deep part in the DEX here is almost non-existent because as the sole or main validator Binance can pretty much do whatever it likes. CZ Binance tweeted, at least, the listing application form, information supplied and community comments are all public. Think of the validators as silent executors for the community in response to writes or tweeting. Unless we know who the validators are, we are forced to assume it's just Binance deciding which tokens get listed, the same as on the SEX. The sooner you allow us to apply to be one the better. That's basically saying you can see what we're doing, so it's fine that you have no power to stop us from, in this case, listing a token or in the BNB chain case from even perhaps taking your coins. The problem here is the fact that since validation is not open, you can't know whether they have taken BNB or whether they have printed out 1 billion of it. It's basically a database modifiable at will, which raises the question of why did they go to their own chain rather than the far more trusted and open Ethereum blockchain. The latter even has smart contracts where true DEXs can be built, although at the expense of speed and convenience since the technology is still very young. That's the trade-off however for now, but where the ERC20 BNB token was concerned, there was pretty much no trade-off between trustlessness and speed etc. On the BNB chain, there may be speed all one wants, but trust without verify where it concerns $3.2 billion is a problematic proposition. Copyright Trustnodes.com. Iran unveils first Bitcoin ATM. Iran's first teller machine that exchanges Bitcoin into Rial and vice versa has been unveiled at the 12th International Exhibition of Exchange, Bank and Insurance in Tehran on Wednesday according to the Russia Today-owned German-based Ruptly. It looks like for now the ATM is limited to just the exhibition area with a representative stating, "We are totally ready to provide the public with this machine but we are looking for its regulatory context which some agreements are supposed to happen for this field and people will be able to use it and we are negotiating in this respect." Artis Ruptly further quotes an Iranian citizen Elnaz Rahim as stating, "I was happy, as a person who has Bitcoin, when I used it. I needed cash in Rial and it took me less than 3 minutes and I was very satisfied. I hope that we will be able to circumvent sanctions by it." Copyright Trustnodes.com. Tether prints $300 million. Tether, the dollar-pegged stablecoin, has just printed out $300 million worth of USDT as demand for the cryptocurrency keeps growing. Some $800 million has been added to Tether's market cap since April 1, sending it to an all-time high of $2.84 billion, pictured above. That makes it the first time Tether's market cap has increased since summer 2018, with the crypto handling incredible volumes of $13.3 billion a day, much of it probably fake from wash trading. There's considerable demand for USDT in China, however, where the initial exchange offering, IEO, phenomena is in full swing. To bypass the banning of centralized crypto exchanges, Chinese residents now buy USDT over the counter, OTC, then send it to crypto-only exchanges where they can exchange it for IEO coins or other cryptos like Bitcoin. This somewhat new and rising method of fairly conveniently accessing the market sent CNY at a premium, making it more expensive to buy USDT than USD. That could explain this $300 million newly printed tokenized dollars. USDT's market cap is now all-time high, so new tokens have to be created to meet demand. Tether prints $300 million, April 2019. It is the first time they have printed tokens since the 25th of June 2018 when they created $250 million. This time it appears they have changed the issuing address for unclear reasons. We can see there, however, the previous address known to belong to Tether's mint authorized this change of issuer. They usually print out in big chunks because the way this probably works in practice is that exchanges send USD to Tether and receive USDT back, with this USDT then traded on exchanges. It could also be that big OTC traders have a direct pipeline to Tether, with it unclear whether they pay the dollars upfront or once the USDT is sold. You'd think the former, which would then suggest this is a leading indicator, but this could also be a preemptive printing of tokens since the unused supply has now dwindled. That would make it a lagging indicator, but this is now the second prominent token to reach an all-time high market cap after BNB did so a few days ago. Copyrights Trustnodes.com. Potential uptrend, says this week's crypto technical analysis. BTC managed to continue rising and make another local high, which signals a potential uptrend. Many say the most important sign will be the 500 and 200 SMA crossover. Still, the flagship crypto is below the resistance of $6,000, and yet, a crossover is mainly regarded as just a confirmation signal. Once the SMAs get tested and the price bounces, BTC may continue its uptrend indeed. Bitcoin. The round number of $6,000, which is the resistance, is still near, while the price managed to break out the local high, thus stopping any potential reversal. Now the price may well continue rising and break out the resistance. The RSI bounced off the support, confirming the uptrend. Still, the BTC may pull back to the support at $5,465, and then close below $5,780, which will signal the downtrend continuation. On H1, BTC is moving along an ascending channel. The price may test its lower boundary at $5,395, but only to bounce back and continue rising, which may get confirmed with the RSI testing the trend line. Conversely, a downside move will be confirmed once the bottom boundary gets broken out and the price closes below $5,270 and goes down to $4,900. EOS is moving along an ascending channel, trading around $5.40. On D1, the price may continue going down, aimed at $3.99. This will be confirmed if the RSI tests the broken out trend line. Currently, the oscillator is below the resistance, so the channel line is very likely to get broken out. The nearest resistance is at $6.35, and in case it gets broken out, the price will be likely to continue rising. The support is meanwhile at $4.70. On H1, EOS is finishing its triangle, and, in the short term, it is likely to test the lower boundary at $5.45, to head towards $4 later, especially if the RSI tests the support. The immediate resistance lies at $5.65, and once it gets broken out, the rise will be confirmed. Ethereum. ETH is currently correcting and testing $168. On D1, it may get down to test the lower channel boundary at $155, to reach then the upper boundary at $200. This will be confirmed if the RSI tests the ascending trend line. In case the price breaks out $140 and stays below, the correction will continue instead. On H4, a triangle is being formed. In the short term, the price may bounce off the lower boundary at $160, to head towards $200 later, especially if the RSI tests the support. The resistance is at $190, and in case it gets broken out, the price will finally leave the triangle, thus issuing a strong buy signal. In case the support at $150 gets hit and the price stays below $145, the ETH will be then heading towards $125 and lower. Litecoin. LTC is correcting and moving down, trading at around $73.12. The lower channel boundary is nearly broken out. On D1, the LTC may get down to test the support at $55.90. This will be confirmed if the RSI tests the broken out trend line. Conversely, the price may continue rising in case the resistance at $85 gets broken out. On H1, LTC is moving along a descending channel, ready to hit the upper boundary at $80 to head towards $62.60 later, especially if the RSI tests the support. Conversely, the price will continue rising in case it stays above the upper boundary around $85. Bitcoin Cash. BCH is moving along an ascending channel after bouncing off the resistance and hitting $282.50. On D1, the price may correct and test the lower channel boundary at $200. This will be confirmed if the RSI tests the broken out trend line. Currently, the oscillator is below the line, which means the upward move is fading out. If BCH manages to stay above $355, however, this will not be the case. On H4, BCH is moving down to break out the lower triangle line. In the short term, it is likely to test the support at $173.50, especially if the RSI tests the support. If the lower triangle line is broken out and the BCH stays below $250, a downtrend will be very likely to start. Conversely, the rise will continue rising in case the price stays above the upper boundary around $337. The weekly crypto technical analysis is provided by Dmitry Gurkovsky, chief analyst at RoboForex. Needless to say, all statements and views expressed above and any forecasts contained herein are solely based on the author's particular opinion. This analysis may not be treated as trading advice. RoboForex and Trustnodes bears no responsibility for trading results based on trading recommendations and reviews contained herein. Copyrights Trustnodes.
That's it for today. See you tomorrow.